Alright, oven bake sponge pudding with golden syrup. So golden syrup is a beautiful product made from cane sugar, and it is used a lot in British baking. This is Tate & Lyle's golden syrup. It used to come in these tins. In fact, I think it still does come in tins, but I like to buy it in this rather useful squeezy bottle. If you can't get hold of golden syrup, don't even think of using corn syrup as a substitute, because it's useless. I will provide a link below to a recipe where you can make your own golden syrup, and it's not as hard as you might think. In the UK we can obtain it very easily in most corner shops and in all the supermarkets. Alright, other ingredients. We've got 100 grams of flour, and that's ordinary all-purpose what we call plain flour in the UK. You'll need 70 grams of sugar and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. You'll need 2 eggs. You'll need about 2 tablespoons of milk. You'll need 100 grams of melted butter, and you'll need an extra tablespoon of syrup, and you'll need 200 grams of syrup for the pudding basin. Right, and inside there is a Pyrex bowl, which is perfect for baking this because it's oven proof. But you can use a loaf tin. I mean, the size of it and the shape of it's not terribly important. And traditionally this pudding was steamed for about two hours, but I don't have time for that in this day and age, so I do it in the oven using the baking method, and besides I think it tastes better that way. In addition, I've got some nice quality vanilla bean extract, and I'm going to use about a teaspoon of that in the sponge. Alright, let's get started. Okay, first off I want to get the dry ingredients in, so there's my 100 grams of flour, my 70 grams of sugar, and my 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and I'll whisk those all together, get it all whisked nicely, and that becomes my dry mix. Give that a good old whisk, make sure everything's nicely mixed. Right, in my bowl of wet ingredients I'm going to put in my 2 eggs, give those a whisk. Add in my butter, that's melted butter. Mix all that together. I want about a tablespoon of the Tate & Lyle's golden syrup. That goes in there. And I just want a little drizzle of about a teaspoon of vanilla extract. That goes in. And I'm going to do this an odd way round, because what I like to do is I like to add the flour to the wet ingredients. So I'm going to add it slowly at first and then mix it in. And it's important here that you don't overmix. I don't want to overmix that mixture. I just want to get it incorporated so that it becomes a nice batter. not over mixed. And what we should get from that is a nice light sponge. I can already smell that golden syrup that's in there. It's a wonderful ingredient, and it is really worth looking up. And it's a mixture of caramel and inverted sugar syrup, and that's how you make it. It's quite easy to make, so the link will be in the description below the video, as I've already said. So there we are, we've got our mix. Next fella on the scene. It looks like I don't need any milk in that, so I think what I'll do is I'll leave the milk out of this one. And into my bowl, I want about 200 grams of syrup. Let's have a look. Another good generous splurge of that. So there we go, about 200 grams of syrup. And I'm going to work that a little bit up the sides, like that. And then into there goes my mix. Those of you with children or a Richard in the house will be very happy, because they'll be more than happy to lick the bowl for you. So there we go, that's the mix. That now very simply goes into the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius. That's in a fan oven. Alright, English custard sauce is by far the best thing to serve with this. So if you can get hold of it, get some hold of some Bird's original custard powder. It's worth seeking out. If that fails, you can look up any internet recipe for creme anglaise or custard. But this is the easy way to do it. So I'm going to make up about a pint of this. So what I'm going to do, a pint in England is 20 fluid ounces. So each tablespoon is 10 ounces of liquid. So, and you use the same amount of sugar as you use custard powder. So I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of caster sugar. That goes in there. And I'm going to mix that with just a little bit of water until I've got it soluble. And then milk, not water, of course. So just a little drizzle of milk. And then we mix that in. And it's important at this stage that you get rid of any lumps that you see in there. Otherwise those lumps turn up in your custard, and we don't like that, do we, boys and girls? We do not like that. I used probably a little bit too much milk there to start the mix. So into that now, I'm going to get out the last of the lump. Into that now I'm going to add 20 ounces or a British pint of milk, which is the entirety of that bottle. And we won't hear any complaints from my brother on that. What you can do at this stage is add a little bit more vanilla, but because I put vanilla in the sponge, I'm not going to add any more at this stage. There is some vanilla actually in the custard powder itself. And then give that a good old mix, and you can microwave that now till it starts to thicken, and then give it another whisk, and then put it back in the microwave to finish it off. So let's do that. Okay, after a couple of minutes in the microwave it starts to thicken, and at this stage I want to give it another whisk like this, and we'll put that back in the microwave. to let it finish off cooking. While that's doing, I'll explain what this is. This is basically Lyle's golden syrup, and that's been turned into Lyle's topping sauce, which is a strawberry flavoured syrup, and it's what I do with excess custard. My brother loves custard, and he'll have it just as a dessert on its own, and he'll eat it straight out the jug if I let him. But it's also nice made up as a little dessert, so I'll show you that as a little side bonus to this video. So stay tuned to the end and I'll show you that. Alright boys and girls, I have a confession to make. I left that in the microwave too long and it turned into the custard monster. But I've ended up with that much usable custard, which will thicken more as it actually cools down. So I will show you now quickly how I make that little dessert. So I get just a serving glass and put a little bit of syrup in the bottom. Nice one for children this, and it's very cheap and easy. All you need is a bit of milk, and then I'll just let that move around the bottom there. Pour on some custard, making sure I save enough for Richard's sponge pudding, because we don't want to see a grown man cry, do we? And that, wait till that sets, and then you top it with a little more of the topping syrup, and you've got yourself a nice quick super dessert. So that was just a side recipe, and the next thing you'll see will be the finished sponge. Alright, let's have a look at this. I'm going to get a skewer and drive it into it and see if it comes out clean. I think it will. As you see, it's come out totally clean. So that's that pudding ready, but that's going to be fiercely hot right now. I'm going to let that cool down for a couple of minutes, and then we'll see what it's like. But there you go, that's super hot, that stuff in the bottom. That's the sugar, and the sponge should be nice and light, and that's how I like it. And my brother is sat in the background chomping at the bit, waiting to get his hands on a bowl of this with some of that nice custard on it. So I'll let that cool off and I'll get back to you. Oh yeah, gorgeous. Treacle sponge pudding with custard. A proper old-fashioned English school pud. Enjoy. Hey friends, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you would like to follow my channel, please subscribe. And don't forget to click the bell icon and select all to receive notifications for all my future videos. It would be great to hear from you in the comments, and I'll try to get back to as many of you as possible. You may wish to check out these titles or even help me out with a donation using the links in the description below the video. Thanks for watching.